Okay. I want to welcome everybody to session 3, which is coaching a team during the COVID-19 pandemic, presented by Bob Krauscher. I'm really interested in this one because I'm trying to help a couple teams, and this COVID-19 situation has really created some issues. So this is going to be exciting for myself also. So with that said, Bob, take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Krauscher, and I want to start off the presentation with an introduction to First Lego League by someone who many of you may know of. His name is Marco Cavallino, and he's been very active in the Maryland First community for over 10 years. He's coached teams at all levels of First and is the creator of the website called TechBrick. He put together this introduction video that he has given in the past, and I'd like to show that to you. So without further ado, here we go.
Hello, my name is Marco Cavallino. I'm the founding mentor for TechBrick Robotics. Hello, my name is Marco Cavallino. I'm the founding mentor for TechBrick Robotics, and I work in marketing communications. I've been involved in First Lego League since 2003, and I'm the Maryland State First Lego League committee for well over 10 years. And we just moved to Georgia looking for getting involved with all of you. And I've been asked just to give you a quick motivational push for this season. The first question you need to ask yourself is, why do you do this? So the answer is because it's just amazing. This picture is one of my favorite photos I've ever shot because it just shows the incredible engagement of these kids looking at this FTC robot at an event. Amazing. So we're going to give you some motivational tips for 2020. And you can see this on the right. Yes, but it's an amazing event. A new event. That's the life. Let's get started. So you decided to start to be a methodologist. So number one, you can do a lot. You get ready, right? To be start out with an Instagram. You turn out with a program. You become a professional. Give her a time. Because along the way, you're going to stay and you're going to get nice like you go back to that. That's so many times. You're going to say that, and you're going to spend off. And really, there's something negative. Jump in. That's good stuff. So that's number one of anything for you. So, if it's worth doing, you want to do it right. You want to do it well. You want to go to Facebook. You want to go to Perfect Stand. You want to be part of this program. It's going to build millions of years. And you're going to do a program that just you and away from other things. Let's back and forth now to the people that found the format. Number two, plan to complete the season. So we need to don't drop that. So right now, there's always good. Nothing prepared. We're going to have a mistake. We did. We're going to work really good. We're going to get the season done. So important. Don't drop out. Got to get to the end. Number three, know the game. Each year's game is different. Every team is different. One of the most discouraging things is that's a good night. But with the ones that are easy and obvious, get those things. They seem to be in place. Download the best of them. You can decide that the well is looking. As a program director and a coach, yeah, you're really focused on this stuff. So make sure you have it. Here's Field of Peril. Yes, 150 seconds. Maybe you're just saying, very excited, want to think of it. Here it is, want the field. But the play over this, it's back to God. There's no reason to keep the God. you go to a tournament, or you go to a local tournament, you'll see some amazing events. You'll see so your team may be doing a big piece and make sure your team is prepared to work with it for as long as you'll be fine. I've seen some of the simple things answer the incredible answers. But try to expect great skills to build for my third rule of consulting is something based it out. I learned this with the developers. I learned this with all of us. It's nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Things like hours of work, 15 rework, and analyze. Not just going to accomplish it. You need to think of build the work and to start several ability to analyze. You think they're decisive. It's going to take time. Drop your expectations. My fourth rule of consulting is that every business plan is going to sell. So no matter what it is, it's all the problem. As you can see, the figure here is the real numbers of that goal. Sometimes it's really hard to do. And so you're going to have your business steps run a small business. They're going to make a plan. They're going to execute it. They're going to compete. You're going to get practical and it's success. It's not going to be fast. If you're doing a budget, then you're thinking about savings you're going to do. So the more money gets, that's where we make sure they understand all the details, all the things. So that is critical of the people. My fifth rule of consulting is that every idea works in the back of the napkin. So rule 4, you can make any idea. You can draw it up, sketch it, and look, it's awesome. And as you can see here, this is apparently with all the stamp, the actual census, the original top computer, so now it's
Okay. Let me see if I can get this guy turned off now. Wonder how I do that. Huh. Well, let's try this.
Bob, you'll want to share the video, not the video, the PowerPoint that you uploaded. There you go.
Okay. All right. So, how do we coach during a pandemic? Your guess is as good as mine, but we've got a couple of tips and tricks
Bob?
and pointers that we can use. So that's what I'm going to go over now.
Audio. Can you try either backing up from the microphone a little bit or speaking a little softer? We're just getting an awful lot of feedback.
Is that any better? Okay. Safety for you and your team is paramount. So when you're conducting meetings, you want to follow any requirements, local requirements that have been set up by local health departments, all the way up to CDC guidelines. Make sure that you've got social distancing taken care of. The kids are wearing masks. You're wearing a mask. Bottom line, be smart. Determine whatever cleaning and sanitizing procedures you're going to need to use before and after a meeting. And share these details with students and parents so that the students know what's going to be expected of them, and the parents will know what you are expecting of the students. As far as guidance, FIRST has developed some guidance pointers for this season, and it's available on their SharePoint website, which you may or may not be able to get to. I'm not sure. It's possible once you become a coach, if you have not done so already, if you have not yet registered. I think once you've registered, you can get in there and you can use this link and you can see what FIRST has set up. But a lot of what I've got in here that I'm going to be showing you today does come from that website. As far as meeting expectations, you want to select a meeting site where social distancing can be met and monitored. Limit your group to the total number of participants that can safely fit in that selected space. For instance, maybe you can only fit 6 people, so if you have 4 students, you could have 2 adults. If you have 5 students, you have to cut it down to 1 adult. Okay? Designate entry and exit points. If there's going to be a curbside drop-off and pick-up for car riders. Monitor social distancing before and after the meeting. You know, as kids are outside waiting for their ride to come pick them up, make sure they're maintaining their social distancing. Designate restrooms near the meeting area for use. The team must remain in the designated area during the meeting. No food nor drinks should be had during the meeting either. Ensure the location has been properly cleaned and sanitized before and after the meeting. Masks, face coverings for all participants they should be required. Limit sharing of materials if needed for the meeting. Allow frequent hand washing or hand sanitizing during the meeting. And report any illness immediately to whoever it needs to be reported to. You want to set up a digital space to share. Google Classroom is an excellent digital space to work from. Google folders. It's easy for everyone to access and work on at the same time. You can do your weekly meetings online through Zoom or Google Meet or Ring Central, whatever you are comfortable with. Set up clear expectations. Make a calendar. Assign jobs and roles to various students. Give them due dates so they know when they need to get done whatever it is they've been assigned. There are many sites that offer team building activities, many of which are appropriate and can be modified to match school-age children. Some activities are geared to adults, but you can also just Google elementary school or middle school team building, and you will have sites popping up. Some examples are listed on the resources page, which we'll get to in a little bit later. Core values. Create, I would suggest doing a poster. It's not a requirement that you have posters this year, but I think it's a good idea. Google Slides, Prezi, Flipgrid, Zoho, Show, Keynote, those are all possibilities. There's no one thing you have to use. You can use whatever the kids are comfortable using. So, any of those things that I've mentioned, or even one that I don't know about, but the kids do, that's fine. Assign jobs and roles, give them deadlines, give them tasks, and on the core values poster, you want to have them talking about how they interact as a team and, how they demonstrate the core values in their activities. Let's see, where am I? In the research project, again, as a team, you want to decide on a topic, do whatever research you think you need to do in order to, maybe assign a few kids that enjoy doing this to go out and find some topics and then discuss them as a team and select one. Again, a poster of some sort, a digital poster of some sort is probably a good idea. And put all the information in a common place. Again, like I said earlier, Google Drive, Google Classroom, something like that. But the key here is to try to get all of the kids involved. Some of them may be, as I said earlier, maybe they're the ones who are going to go out and try to find different ideas for topics, while other kids work on the robot and the programming. But you want to have every kid doing something so they don't feel left out. Robot design. Want to utilize the engineering notebook that was provided in the field kit. Take pictures of the robot throughout the design phase, both the successes and the failures. The failures are the ones where the kids are probably going to learn the most. And explaining to the judges in their engineering notebook why they, cast off one idea and went with another is more indicative of how they were working through the design process than just showing, we did this, and everything was perfect. Highlight both your successes and your failures. Have them explain the programming. Why did they program it the way they did? Okay, what kind of, let's say they were using a line following program. Why did they choose that particular type of programming? There are many different line following programs out there. Why did they choose the one they did? Was it because the robot went straighter and wasn't turning left and right as much? Why? Why did they choose what they chose? Create the robot executive summary to pull everything together. Okay, the engineering notebook should be their day-to-day progress, step-by-step progress, how they work through the problems to get the robot to do what it eventually did. But your executive summary is kind of like the, as I said, it pulls everything together and gives an overview of the design processes that the kids went through. Okay, here are some of the resources. Okay, First Education, and I'm going to make this PowerPoint available to you, so you'll have these various links available to you. So First Education, it responds to a few questions, and you can get access to K-12 STEM activities that were produced by First. As far as team building, here are a number of different links. And new for this year, your team registration includes digital access to these materials and resources through the First ThinkScape portal. It's on your dashboards when you log into First, and they provide links that you can then click on, get to, and download those various links so that you can access them without going into the portal. In the portal, you'll find the replay team meeting guide and a static and interactive version of the engineering notebook. So the kids may want to do pencil paper on the notebook, but they also have the opportunity of using an engineering notebook online. Some of them may, some teams may find that to be an excellent way of working. Okay, so at this point, I am open to questions. You'll see the Q&A over in the Q&A link in the upper right-hand corner, I think, of your screen. So if you have questions, by all means, shoot them toward me, and we'll try to get answers for you. And I'll try to figure out a way to get this put up there. Worst comes to worst, if I can't get this put up here for you to download, I will have it put up on the Georgia First Lego League site at Seismic, CEISMC, on the Seismic First Lego League website. I will put it up there and you'll be able to download it from there.
All presentations are being recorded and they will be posted through the Georgia First website. I would say sometime middle to latter part of the week. And if you will send your PowerPoint to the proper address, I don't know off the top of my head right now, we'll get that posted also. So these materials will be made available to the teams. Does anybody have questions for Bob? We're open. I've got a half an hour for you guys to ask anything you might want to ask. Everybody's an expert. Surely somebody out there has a question or two. Well, Bob, it looks like you did a very good job and answered everybody's questions. No seems to have anything they want to share. You've got a half an hour. Is there anything you want to discuss outside this formal presentation? Feel free. If not, we'll call this one done. This is the last session for the lunch break, so we just extend the lunch break a little bit for anybody that's in this group right now.
Yeah, I guess everybody can break early for lunch.
Yeah, I've got one here about when do we expect to hear the core value guideline?
Hopefully within the next week. We're discussing exactly how we want to do that. We have a couple of ideas, but once we get that figured out, we will post it on the Georgia First Lego League website.
Okay, we've got a team asking that they're operating completely virtually at this point in time. How do we handle that there's only one Inspire kit?
Yeah, good one. My suggestion would be it kind of depends on your team. If you have a team with a few veteran students on it that you know are good at building, those would be the kids that you'd want to give the robot to. Sign the robot out to them and let them start the building and working with kids on programming. Whereas you may not be able to meet with the kids, it's possible the kids might live close to each other and their parents would be okay with them getting together. But again, that's strictly up to the parents. But the only way I can think of in your situation is to get the robot out there to kids so they can start building it, and they can download the programming software, the Mindstorms software. It is free, so they can log on and download that so they can start programming. I hope that answered your question, or at least gave you some ideas.
That was a good step. And along those same lines, we're being asked, do you have any recommendations for how you build the robot when you're working completely virtually? I think you kind of hit upon that, having some students perhaps work in small groups. But if you have any suggestions, we've got a team that wants to know.
probably small groups is the way to go, and to see if maybe you can see who on the team is more interested in working on the project, and let them run with that. And the kids who were more interested with, I know when I was coaching, I always had kids who were more interested in building the robot, and other kids who were more interested in programming the robot. And, those could be small groups that you could work with. And, then they could get together virtually online. And in fact, I did this last summer when I was doing a training session. I had people were designing a program that they would then send that program to me, and I would download or upload the program to the robot and run the robot for them. So that's one possibility as far as having disparate groups working together.
I think those are some good questions. Anybody else got anything they want to ask? As we're all kind of fumbling our way through how to do this remotely in this COVID situation, Bob, anything else you want to throw in there? We just got a question. Will the competitions be virtual?
The competitions will not be, yes, they're all going to be virtual, but there won't be any interactions going on. Everything will be remotely uploaded, and they will be judged, at the convenience of the judges. So teams should not be expecting to have any interaction with the judges. That's not in our plan.
How about the actual robot competitions? Are they going to be done virtually, or will they be physically in some location?
No, they will also, what you will do is somehow you will be filming robot runs, and you will select whatever your best robot run was, and you will upload that video to the site. The video should be unedited. There should be no starts or stops. It needs to be, the minimum of 2.5 minutes for the run. And then, again, without any edits, stops, or starts, the camera would want to be moved to show each of the scored elements on the board. There will be a sample video that we post so that you can see what we mean by, camera positioning and how to go and, make choice, show the various scoring missions, the missions where the kids actually got a score. And then we've got people here at Georgia Tech who will look at the videos and score them from here.
We're being asked if the judging and scoring process will take into account the virtual challenges that are involved in having this being done without the team being fully together. Since only a few kids are going to be participating in a given portion of it, is there going to be some allowance made for that challenge of the kids overcoming it?
We're going to be very flexible and forgiving when it comes to a number of things, considering the situation we are in. Yes, we will be somewhat lenient in, well, not lenient's not the right word, accepting of the way things are being presented to us.
So if I understand you correctly, yes, the judging panel is going to take into account the fact that the whole COVID situation is unusual for everybody.
Absolutely.
And accepting of perhaps some challenges that may or may not be presented in the submissions from the teams.
Well, again, the teams, if you look at the rubric, if the team can be able to point to or be able to tell themselves, yes, we have touched all of the items in the rubric, you should be okay. Yes, in regular competition, there are teams that do not touch on all aspects in the rubrics, and they do get scored with dot demonstrated scores on something that didn't show up. So although the judges are liable to be very forgiving when it comes, open to interpretation that something could be part of one of the rubric points. If it's not there at all, it will be scored accordingly.
Having judged at FLL events before, sometimes when a team is, it's obvious in their talking to them that they have accomplished one of the rubric points, but maybe don't mention it. You can kind of prompt them to get that so they get their credit for the work. I think the questions being asked here is that since we don't have that interaction with the teams, and you may have just answered it, judges will be lenient if they can see that it was accomplished, even if not explicitly demonstrated.
You're right. But what you need to take into account is every team is under that same situation.
Anyone have any other questions? Now, don't all stick your hands up at once. We got to have this under control. But seriously, I think some good information was presented here. Some excellent ideas. I like some of the questions and the fact that we have at least a plan in place to handle some of the exceptional circumstances we're all facing. I'm looking forward to the FLL tournaments, the FLL competitions. I always enjoy being part of them, so I think this is going to be a good season for us. If there are no other questions, we can end this session. The next scheduled session is at 1:30. We have a lunch break in between this block and the afternoon block. So if no one has anything else they want to add, I want to thank Bob for doing this. I want to thank the attendees for being here. And again, I want to thank you guys for some good questions. It was interesting from my standpoint to hear how FLL is handling some of these exercises. I'm more involved on the FRC side, and we're still struggling with our part, how we're going to do some of these things. So seeing how FLL is doing it helps give me some faith that, yeah, we'll figure it out on the FRC side also. Again, any other questions? If not, I'm going to stop the recording this session and we'll call it a day. As I say, the next sessions are scheduled for 1:30. Enjoy your lunch, and I look forward to seeing you guys as best we can in person or virtually at FRC events. Thank you.